Good Friday morning, everyone. Today's Friday, November 24th, 2023, and this is your Friday safety meeting. Hopefully, everybody had a healthy and safe Thanksgiving holiday weekend. This, of course, is the biggest shopping day of the year, Black Friday. So, John and I are up here holding down the fort. It's a little bit densely populated here, just a few folks, but small in numbers, but mighty in spirit. So, good morning. This is your Friday safety meeting. My name is Dennis Davis. I work in the safety department here. We do this, of course, every single Friday, even today, the Friday after Thanksgiving, when a lot of folks have got their turkey hangover. Tryptophan hasn't quite worn off. Maybe even some other things hadn't quite worn off yet. But we are here. We are excited to be here, and we're excited to be here with you, giving you this information in this meeting this morning. As always, breakfast is free at all of our locations. So if you haven't ordered breakfast yet, please jump in line and place your order. So we want to give John Blanchard and his crew at all three of our locations a big round of applause for breakfast this morning, and of course, Thanksgiving dinner over the last couple of days. So let's give those folks a round of applause. We are live across the socials, so welcome to our folks that are listening on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and of course, folks that will be tuning in the future over the Prime mobile app. We are also simulcasting at our outside terminals, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Pittston, Pennsylvania. So let's go east first. I think we got Rick Ifrit with us this morning. Good morning, Rick. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
You guys got a small crowd there today. I'm sure you got some folks over there in line, but happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Tell me what's going on there in Pittston.
Oh, we do have a few people here. It's not too bad. And this week went all right. We had quite a few in orientation. So, yeah, we're doing all right up here.
All right, excellent. That's not Lisa over there, is it?
It is not. It's John's name is Jarek. He's in our IT department. He helped set up this morning.
All right. Hey, good morning, Jared. Thanks for being with us this morning. Rick, as we transition out of this Thanksgiving mode and into obviously Christmas mode, tell us, anything that'll be going on here pretty quick in the Pittston terminal.
Yeah, we got something coming up. Before you do that, though, I just want to address that backdrop you got going on there. That is awesome.
Well, appreciate you bringing that up. We were just talking about that a little bit earlier. Yeah, we made that transition.
Look at that. The deer's even moving back there. Hey, next Friday, December 1st, December 1st, we have a Christmas party coming up. That's, I guess that's what Dennis was referring to.
That's what I'm referring to. Tell me the location here pretty quick and the start time.
Start time is 5:30, and it's going to be at Mohegan Sun at the casino.
All right, and of course you can RSVP with your fleet manager or over the Prime mobile app, right?
You can, and we'll have transportation back and forth with our shuttle driver. He'll be going back and forth, taking people up and down, back and forth.
Should be a fantastic time. So look forward to partying at every single one of the parties. So appreciate you guys being with us this morning. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, let's go west. I think we've got Tyler Patrick and Aaron Ward with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, sir. You've got Aaron and Tyler with you this morning. Everything's going great out here in Salt Lake City. We've got our first significant snowstorm going on right now. Came through Idaho last night and is in Utah right now. So everyone needs to be safe and prepared for that. Had a great Thanksgiving out here. Hope everyone else did too. And a lot of good things going on in Salt Lake City. We've got our Christmas party coming up on December 15th, 5:30 in the evening that day. And we too will have transportation back and forth from the terminal to the location.
All right, fantastic. Let's dive just a little bit deeper into that weather situation. First significant accumulation out west this year in the Salt Lake City area. What's the anticipated accumulation?
It's supposed to kind of come in throughout the day. Not a whole lot of accumulation today, but we did see it kind of starting to build up on the roads and in the corners and the sidewalks. So as you guys are navigating around the yard, by all means, just take your time. take a cautious step as you're getting out. And if you are rolling, make sure that, you are comfortable with the scenario and the circumstances the weather's provided. Everybody's drives a little bit differently. So, take consideration under your own abilities and how you feel confident in going out in the weather today. But yeah, no real accumulation to speak of. The weekend looks pretty clear. So I imagine this will just be, a quick little intro as to what the winter may look like, but nothing terribly going on this morning.
Sounds good. And we'll have Tyler Patrick come up here a little bit later to give us some information. But as of now, thank you guys for being with us this morning. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right back here, Springfield, Missouri. Good morning, folks. Good morning. We just kind of, all right. We're here. We got it. We understand. That's all right. That's what John and I's job is, to bring you a little bit of energy this morning. I'm all hocked up on coffee. I see John's cup is over there too. We got a big box of candy bars that we're probably going to dive into, thanks to one of our newer drivers. So we appreciate you guys being here. Our new folks, we see a ton of neon vests out there at all of our locations. So if you're new here to Prime, if this is your first week, if you would stand and give us an opportunity at each of our locations to welcome you to the team. And I think we got more new folks here than the regular old people.
I think they got them outnumbered.
Yeah. So of course, our folks that have been here with us for a while, our crafty old veterans, we won't have you stand. We'll just say, welcome home. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you got an opportunity to get a free Thanksgiving meal if you were at one of our terminals yesterday, and we want you to get out as quickly as you can. Of course, out in Salt Lake City, make sure that you're comfortable with rolling out. With me this morning is one of the only safety guys that didn't take a vacation day today. This is John Hart. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Dennis. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
So I want to take this opportunity to welcome everyone out here in the yellow vest, neon vest at all three terminals, or if you're out there on a truck already, welcome. We're glad that you're here. We're glad that you came in this time of year. It's a great time of year to come in and learn. We get a lot of folks in here from states that may not see a lot of snow. So giving yourself that opportunity to learn. And the first thing I'm going to say is, if you're ever out there driving, just like it's already been spoken about, if you're ever out there driving and you're in a situation that you're not comfortable with, we want you to stop. We want you to shut down in a safe area, and we want you to err on the side of caution. So our customers will appreciate that. We appreciate that. Your safety is our number one concern out there. We'll say it up here every week, 52 weeks a year. We won't change that tone at all. So if you get shut down due to weather, reach out to your fleet manager. Let them know what the situation is. Let them know, just like Tyler and Aaron were saying, this doesn't look like it's going to be a very bad storm out there. Not a lot of accumulation, but that initial snowfall will cause some slick road conditions. So, whether you wait it out for 5 hours or 10 hours, the road crews will get out there, do their thing, and then traveling will be much safer after that. So keep that in mind. Reach out to your fleet manager. They'll let the sales coordinators know, the customers know, and that's the protocol we want you to follow. You're the captain of the ship. We want you to feel comfortable and safe driving, so please do so 100% of the time out there.
I really just want to echo what John just said. You're here a few weeks ago. We showed a video of a driver that was calling in under slightly different circumstances. He was fatigued. It wasn't an inclement weather situation, and his night fleet manager, to be more specific, was pressuring him to do a little bit of driving. Now, point of clarification, that wasn't one of our drivers. That was an old video from another company. But, when it comes to weather, it's the same thing. It's the same mindset. Not a night person, not a weekend person, not a holiday person, not your regular fleet manager. No one here at Prime will pressure you into driving in inclement weather situations. We'll take the information from you. As John said, we want you to communicate to us. We understand. Our customers understand. Everybody understands that we don't want that thing rolled over in a ditch. It serves us no purpose. It serves that customer no purpose. That those frozen pizzas that they have, I promise they'll stay frozen. And if we have to deliver it 10 hours later, they'll understand. So just kind of keep that in mind as we go along. We won't belabor it this week, but we'll be talking a lot about winter weather this year. We want to make sure that everybody understands what our mindset is and what our expectation is on a week-to-week basis. So let's jump into some safety numbers. What we do this week?
All right, man, we had a great week this week. We had 150 inspections, which is quite a few. That's up from what we've been seeing the last 3 or 4 weeks. So out of those 150 inspections, 105 of those were clean. So 70% pass rate. So give yourselves a round of applause. That's pretty phenomenal. We haven't heard much higher than that here in the last 11, 12 months, have we?
70 has really kind of been the new benchmark. We used to kind of look at 60, then 65, but as we grow and as we get better, that 70% is really the new normal. So great job, folks. Thank you.
And it's free money for everyone here in a yellow vest. You pass an inspection, clean inspection, scan it in, and you'll get paid for it. Independent contractors, lease operators, $100, company drivers, $25. I believe we have a question over here, and I don't see anybody with a microphone. We may have to recruit Sean over there. Get him off his phone.
Hey, good morning. Just a quick question on that safety number there. How does that compare to the rest of the industry?
So we don't get exact numbers from other carriers, but from what we can see online and what we know, 70% is about twice the pass rate of other carriers. So they're somewhere in the low to mid 30s from what we understand. So you guys are out there killing it, making that extra money. So great job. Keep that up. Just remember, you get paid for doing your job the way you're supposed to be doing it.
Got anything else?
I do. Sorry. I thought you had something to say, so I looked over at you. So a couple of the things, every week Dennis goes through the citations, and it was my week to go through all the citations or inspections, I should say. And there's a couple that I wanted to talk about that we see them too frequently. So we had a couple of seatbelt violations, and then we had a couple of handheld device citations. So, these are 2 very serious violations. The seatbelt, it shouldn't happen. I heard somebody say it over here. Every time you get into your tractor, you operate the tractor, put your seatbelt on. It's for your safety. It's the law. Don't have it underneath your arm. Have it on the correct way. Properly wear it. We see a lot of these citations, and states are getting pretty tricky about how they're catching drivers out there. Seatbelts, handheld devices. They've got AI devices on the side of the highway. They're on bridges and overpasses looking. So make sure you wear your seatbelt. The other one, the handheld device, distracted driving is dangerous driving, and safety is our #1 priority here at Prime. So for all of you new folks, for all of you old folks, please do not drive with a handheld device in your hand. And we hear it a lot. We bring somebody in for a violation, and they say, the holder broke, or I just went to check directions. I had it in my hand for 2 seconds, and in that 2 seconds, the officer saw me.
It was the very first time
I've ever done this in my life, and he caught me in 2 seconds. That's, you can take that with a grain of salt, I think. So, please be safe out there. We don't want you out there distracted driving. So, and just for the record, you can be DQ'd for using a handheld device driving at Prime. So very serious violation there.
Absolutely. Very serious violations. We do take those things serious. We are putting some steps in place and some technology in place to try to, close the gate before the horse gets out. We get a lot of feedback when we ask, hey, how do we stop this? We always get, well, you got to be hard on that driver when he or she gets a violation. And that's good. We want to do that, and we've done that. But that still doesn't take away that we just had a violation and it drives up our score. So, thank you for giving us that feedback. Appreciate you, John, for going through those inspections this week. Maybe we can get you on them again next week. So,
I might be busy next week.
Of course. All right, let's roll into our speaker list this morning. What do we have this morning?
All right, so we're going to bring up Colby with our driver health and fitness, as he's going to bring up here a weekly health tip, correct?
Yeah, you betcha. So we'll do our health tip of the week real quick, and you guys don't go anywhere. But a couple things I was going to talk about is, we always talk about safety is our highest calling, right? And then we also talk about how a healthier driver is a safer driver. But also we usually say on our podcast stuff that a happy driver is also a safer driver, right? So I want to take that the other way and flip it to gratitude. So we want to practice gratitude. So one of the healthy tips we talk on our podcast is about practicing gratitude. Your typical you're thankful for this, we're thankful for this, but sometimes it is just taking about not just fluffing everything, but literally looking at it going, okay, things we're grateful for, right? So like in this institution and for our, for our job, like we're grateful for a lot of things, right? I mean, if a driver has a lot of things to be grateful for is that they have a company like us, right? And a backing of a department like our driver health and fitness department. But like, what's something you're grateful for?
You know,
Maybe off the beaten path.
That's off the beaten path.
Yeah, it was like, oh, your family got it. Health got it, right? Which don't take it for granted, but yeah, something you're grateful for.
You took mine.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm calling you out.
You know, something that I've always talked about for me personally, I'm a praying man. I'm always thankful for God's grace. I don't ever pretend to be the smartest person around. I don't ever pretend to be the most talented person around. But, you know, as I progress through life, whether it be through marriage, through parenthood, my professional life, I've always seemed to somehow, some way, not by my own smarts, by any way, be steered in the right path into making good decisions. So I'm really appreciative and really thankful for that.
Love it. That's a good answer. Good luck. What's yours?
I know that's hard to follow. And
That's a really good.
and I'll echo that because, you know, believe it or not, going through college, and, you know, I may not have made all the best decisions in my life. And somehow here I am guided in the right direction and have had a great life, got a great son at home that I'm very grateful for. And, you know, I'm really grateful for my friendships and a lot of the relationships, and most of them have came from working here at Prime. So there's a lot of great people here at Prime that I'm very grateful for.
I love it. Well, and that's those are give me examples, right? Because that's something diving deep. What it takes is sometimes like a self-reflection for 5 seconds to tell you like the journey you're on, right? And that's why I say our office upstairs here, but also we have our trainers in Salt Lake, Pittston, and here that like, we're just here to help any way we can, right? So we talk about health, we talk about fitness and nutrition, but a lot of times there's other things too, right? So yeah, taking that time to kind of practice gratitude, I think plays a big role. And this is the perfect time to think about it. So, but there you go. So,
you know, one of the other things, you know, right along that, you know, we're in a holiday weekend, and, you know, of course, not a ton of folks here today. So that leads you to believe that one or two things. One, you know, some folks are at home or folks are out actually on the road carrying the freight. But, you know, we're not a company, and then you got two former fleet managers here. We're never a company that's going to force you to stay out. You know, we get a lot of fee. Oh, my fleet manager made me stay out. That's not going to happen here. You know, your business partner may have some conversations with you about what the expectations are going into, you know, being in the fourth quarter and transitioning to quarter number one, and what the financial expectations and requirements will be. But no fleet manager here is going to tell you, you cannot go home. I don't care what you got going on. You can't do it. That's not the way we do business here. And, you know, part of that is, like John said, you know, our kids are only young ones. You know, these things, you know, we were just counting with my son. I think we got 6 more Thanksgivings left before he's going to be grown and gone and kind of doing his own thing, not wanting to hang out with his old parents anymore. So we cherish those days, and we want our drivers to do that too, if you so choose to do that. But there was a point in my life before, and John has been there too, before my family and kid were here. I was here every Thanksgiving. I was here every Christmas. I was here. I can't count the number of New Year's Eves I was here, you know, bringing in the new year right here at Prime, working at nights. And, you know, same thing when I took over Fleet, I was here. And this was before the days when we could work remote. I was right here getting some of Robert's free food in the cafeteria on these holidays.
Sure.
So, you know, we go through different parts of life, different transitions, and, you know, that's just how it works.
Well, I think you're right. And I think the biggest thing too in that is like the current moment you're in, whether it be the best or the worst, there are ebbs and flows, right? So that's the best thing about like when you can reflect on gratitude and try to approach it with a grateful attitude. Yeah, there's always greener pastures, but also better things that we can look through. So that's why I want to bring this one up.
I kind of hijacked your whole thing here. I'm
No,
sorry.
you didn't at all. That's what I said. This is perfect. So that's what I want. That's the whole point about it, is about the reflection. And like I said, you're talking about your journey, even here at Prime, is a big part, right? Because you look at things where it's like, yeah, you had to, and like anybody in any profession, we have to grind through things at sometimes, but then there's other days that, you know, it's a bright light. So, yep, always here to help.
Well, good. Thanks for asking that question.
All right,
Good to
man.
see you. You
Appreciate
bet.
it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks for being here this morning. All right.
All right, we're gonna bring Sam Messick up next. He's gonna give you a fuel update. I thought I saw Sam earlier over
He's
here.
over there.
Oh, he's brought a friend with him this morning.
Oh, you got a friend with you this morning? Wow, this will be interesting. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Yes, this is my new best friend, Devin Stagner, because he's doing a bunch of my work now. No, just kidding. No, Devin has been working with me for how long?
About 3 months now.
3 months. Dang, seems like a year to me. What does that say? No, Devin's been with us for about 3 months in the accounting department. Some of you probably knew Devin over on the leasing side, but he's been helping us out on the accounting side. So Devin and I just kind of wanted to give you a couple quick updates on some things that we have going on the fuel and wash side of the business. So Devin, I know, one of the things that we've been focused on lately is a project related to our calendar, right? And the calendar being the information on the locations, right, within the Prime mobile app, as far as what their hours are and when they're open and closed. You just want to kind of give us a quick update on what we're working on with that project specifically?
Yeah, so we've updated the calendar in a big way to really reflect all the real-time information that we have. So no matter which station you pull up in the app, it's going to show, when it's open or closed on specific days. And, if a location is closed next Tuesday only, well, the app's going to reflect that. So moving forward, the app's going to reflect the most recent real-time information that we have. And of course, it is a little work in progress. So if you have any questions, you can always let us know.
So in the past, right, we used to simply have kind of what the Google search information would have on a location, which was really just when the location was open and closed the majority of the time. So if they generally were open Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, that's what we would have in our Prime mobile app as well. And then if a location was closed on a specific day or for a specific period of time, they ran out of fuel for 10 hours or whatever it might be, we would send out a fleet message, right? So we'd send that out through the Qualcomm, or we'd send that out on the Prime mobile app in the travel update section. Now, with what Devin's talking about, we will put that information in real time, ideally, right, in the actual calendar section on the mobile app. So you'll see reflected in the calendar information what the current status of that location is as far as open or closed, if they have any exceptions to their normal hours, right? So the best way to see if a location is open or closed in our network on any given day is to go to the Prime mobile app and take a look at the hours, right? And we're even trying to make sure that that stuff is updated for things like holidays, right? So we just went through Thanksgiving. So Devin had went through and closed a bunch of the locations that we knew were closed on Thanksgiving. So if we know about it, that information is going to be in that calendar on a go-forward basis, and Devin will be helping manage that going forward. Another thing that Devin's been working on, right, we're always trying to make sure that as a fleet that we're out purchasing as good as we possibly can for the good, obviously, of Prime, but ultimately as well for the good of our operators. So, I work a ton on the fuel side, have in the past year or so on the wash side, trying to make sure that we're buying right, that we're honoring the kind of volume, right, that Prime can bring to the table and negotiating the best prices for our company and for you all as operators. So Devin, do you want to give everybody an update on the wash project that we've been working on in regards to pricing?
Yeah, so I've been going through in the past probably a month or so and kind of analyzing all of our reefer washout vendors and seeing all the prices, seeing what kind of price increases we've taken over the last couple of years, and reaching out to those locations and trying our best to, get those prices to where they're the most efficient, most optimal, and able to save us and the company the most money. And so in doing so, we are going to have some preferred vendors in some locations. And so, we're going to be sending out some updates saying, whenever you're in this area, this is a location that's best to go to in order to save operators and Prime as much money as we can.
And this is a big deal. I mean, we have to call these folks one at a time, right? Most wash locations are individually owned and operated. There's not a bunch of, Blue Beacon is really about the only wash chain in the United States, big one for sure. So we can negotiate with those folks on a big picture basis. But these other folks, it's one phone call at a time. So Devin's been doing it's a valiant effort to get through all of these folks and negotiate pricing for us. Yeah, one question right over here. Well, and I'll just mention, what Devin said was so key in that we can go out and negotiate these best prices all day long, right? But if you all aren't using the locations that we have the best pricing at, right, it really undermines our ability to really hammer home with these folks that pricing wins within our network. So we appreciate you all using the locations that we recommend, right? Because those folks have stepped up and given us what we would call partner type pricing. So, yeah.
And in keeping with that, one of the reasons that the drivers may not be using those locations is we don't want to sit for 2.5 hours in line.
Absolutely. And those are some of the things that we look at with the wash location, right? We look at their hours, if they offer after hour service, right? If they offer call outs, et cetera. Those are big deals to us. We look at how many bays they have available to wash, right? We're going to make sure that if we're going to partner with them, they're of the correct size, right, to be able to handle business like ours. Because as you well know, you'd be shocked if you saw how many washes Devin sees some of these locations. It's crazy how much business we can push. Definitely a big company here at Prime. But yeah, one question.
I just want to know what the future was with regards to the locations as they appear in Navigo versus the app, because they're not the same. A lot of them are missing in the Navigo off the Qualcomm.
As far as like being able to direct to those locations through Navigo.
Look for my nearest washout, and the ones around me don't always appear, but if you go into the app, they're there. So they're not connected.
I'll have to look at that. I mean, our focus is really on the app at this point in time, but we want them to be in sync, but the app is where I would say to go 99% of the time if you're looking for information like that. But let me take a look at that and we'll see. Anybody else have any questions? Last thing I'll say, please make sure if you're leaving out of the terminal over the next couple of days, make sure you're grabbing some fuel additive. Here, our fuel additive, we pretty much sell it at costs. I think just about $6 per bottle. For Penray additive, that treats 250 gallons worth of diesel fuel for about $6. As you well know, power service additive, any of the additives that you're going to buy over the road, are at times close to $20 a bottle at the truck stop. So make sure you load up on that. It's a really good additive. If you treat it at a 1-to-1 or at the recommended ratio, treat ratio, that'll get your cold filter plunk point down to about -20. So you really don't need to treat it more than at a single treat ratio if you're going to be in -20 or above temp. So make sure you don't over treat your fuel. That can be very expensive for you. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll get out of your hair. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Devin. Always good to, I always think that Sam is the smartest person in the room whenever he comes up here.
He feels like it for sure.
So speaking of smartest person in the room, we're going to bring up a first-time speaker next. We always get a lot of feedback, and we even talked about it here at the Friday morning meeting a couple weeks ago about the condition of equipment dropped at customer locations and drop yards. And this is especially prevalent on a holiday weekend, whether it's today, over the weekend, or Monday morning when folks really start to get back out of the house. You want to be able to get dispatched, get to that trailer, wherever your fleet manager sends you to pick it up. You want it to have already been washed out. You want it to be filled with fuel. You want it to be in great working condition, ready to go. But sometimes you get there and you pick it up and it's either neither or nor one of those that it's not been done. So we're gonna bring up a speaker, Jennifer Sanderson. I thought I saw her over here. Come on. Jennifer Sanderson works in our refrigerated sales department, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about these trailers. Good morning.
Good morning. I thought this was a real stage. It's not. I still feel important with the microphone, though. Dennis brings up some good points there, and I know you guys know all about that way better than I do, but I just wanted to share a little bit about what you might not see on the other side of things. When that equipment is at those shippers and it is out of service and there's something wrong with it and they can't load it, what happens after that? Not just you guys arrive and now it's your problem to deal with. What happens on the customer side of that? What happens is that customer calls me and lets me know about the out of service equipment. And these bigger trailer pools don't just have one that's out of service at any given time. They could have 5 or 10. We have trailer pools of 50, 60 trailers or more. And so the chances of a lot of them being out of service at one time is very good. What happens is when that customer calls me, they say, hey, you have 5 out of service trailers here. You have 50 outbounds. We don't have enough trailers to load all of our weekend loads for the weekend. I'm sorry, we're going to have to pull freight back from you, give it to another carrier who has good working equipment on site. And that's not what we need in this marketplace, but that absolutely happens. We don't have the right equipment there at the right time. There are so many other carriers out there right now looking for business. They just goes to the next guy. So that's the reality of it in this marketplace. It hasn't always been that way, but that's where it's at right now. So that's the sales side of that.
So on the flip side of that, though, if we have 50 trailers there that are all in good working order and those other customers do not, then we could get some of their freight, right?
Exactly. And that happens as well. They'll call me at the end of the week sometimes. Hey, I see you guys have 10 empty sitting here. Can you take any more freight? I say, absolutely.
So, one thing that I'll say, because as a fleet manager, a former fleet manager, and Dennis can attest to this as well, we received this call, not quite a bit, but we received this call multiple times where, we send a driver in to pick up a trailer or pick up a preloaded trailer, and an road assist might reach out to us and say, hey, I see your driver's picking up here. Can you grab this trailer, run it over here to this shop? It's out of service. The customer can't load it. Or the driver goes in and the trailer that they're supposed to pick up is out of service, and then they've got to mess with it. So, we get that a lot. So the protocol for that is if you get to a customer and you see that, please report it. It doesn't do anybody any good. If you look at it and you say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to have to do anything with it. Well, that's not good for the driver, for the customer, for Prime. So, your fleet manager will compensate you for taking the trailer to the shop, compensate you for your time, for your miles, and then a step above that, because we get calls where drivers are upset that somebody left that trailer in that condition. Technically, the driver who dropped that trailer in that condition could be charged back for that.
That does happen. I do go the extra step and look to see who had that trailer last, and we're reaching out to them to make sure that that's settled up correctly.
So really, it's for everybody's benefit. Make sure your equipment's in good working order. Yes, there's a little bit of extra time involved with it, depending on where shops are. It could be a little more extra time than in some places than others, but you will get compensated for it. Reach out to your fleet manager, talk to your fleet manager about that. Make sure they're compensating you for it. Look for that adjustment, that A number on your settlement the next week. Reach out if you don't see that next week. So,
and even if you come across something and you're tight on time, tight on making that load, just report it. Just reporting it is super helpful so that we can address it the next time, instead of just leaving it.
Absolutely. So, Dennis, do you have anything you want to add on to that for Jenny?
I think you guys covered it pretty well, and that's fine. But Jennifer, I'm going to give you another little bit of a spin here.
I can hear it with that.
What that's supposed to mean. So, we talked to some fleet managers here last week from a fleet manager perspective pertaining to PTAs, and a weekend like this weekend, PTAs are probably I see your face, a super sensitive subject. And of course, she didn't plan for this. This is going to be 100% impromptu. Let's say I'm Dennis Davis, truck driver, and I may have had a little bit too much tryptophan in my turkey. I was only expecting to spend the holiday at the house and be ready to go at 7 a.m. this morning, but here it is, a little after 8, and nobody's heard from me. Talk about it from your perspective. How does that affect your planning process? How does that affect you talked about the communication with customers as it pertains to loads and trailers. But what happens if we don't honor that PTA? If for whatever reason, we won't say that anybody's doing anything nefarious by any means, but let's say we're not available when we told our fleet manager we were available.
Well, I can tell you that internally, if I tried to do that, I wouldn't be standing here the next day because you just don't show up. That's not an option. You answer the bell and you show up and you work when you say you're going to work. But what really happens on the backside of that is, for instance, last week I spent a lot of time on the phone with customers asking for every single load we could get our hands on because we had our whole fleet out there working. We needed every load. And now this weekend, we've got a lot of folks at home, but I still have the same amount of freight. So I don't need to get on that phone with the customer, the same customer that just gave me that additional freight, and tell them, sorry, I can't pick up your freight now this week because folks had too much turkey. That's not going to go over well. And they're going to remember that. The bad thing is they tend to remember the bad more than they do the good. So we have to remind them of the good and show up when we say we're going to show up. So this weekend specifically, we've got a ton of freight on the books. I mean, a ton. If anybody wants to make money and if anybody wants to work, it's there. It's there to be had. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, there's a lot of demand, a lot of freight out there.
Hey, well, I had a lot of turkey last night, and I promise I'm here. I answered the bell. I saw that look in your eyes, and for some reason you were looking directly at me. I'm here. I'm
Dennis,
good.
I just assume that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do now. That's why I'm here.
Yeah,
So
honor your PTA, folks.
honor your PTA. So anything else you want to tell the folks since you got the microphone before you get out of here?
I think that I was reminded to remind you all the importance of checking those addresses and temps on bills. I know you guys have been told that a million times, but unfortunately, sometimes it takes making a mistake to really grind it into your head to remember. And we've all made those mistakes. And I don't want you guys to be a victim of one of those mistakes because those can be very costly, not just for Prime, but for yourselves.
Well, Jennifer Sanderson, first time speaker of the Friday morning meeting. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you again next week, right?
I might be cooking freight.
Absolutely. Give her another round of applause. Thank you for coming in on a Friday after Thanksgiving and participating. So,
Yeah.
I think we got something a little bit different coming up where we got a little bit of time. You want to go ahead and do this? Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm feeling good. So this next speaker has no clue that he's coming up here. But, for me and probably for John too, John and I, he's a little older than I am, but we're about that age where, we really got to start thinking about kind of the next 10 to 15 years and what we're going to do next. And part of that is at some point, we're going to want to retire, right? John and I aren't going anywhere anytime soon, but there's somebody here at today's meeting that is. So I'm going to ask Jim Wilkins to come on up. He didn't know that we were going to do this.
I saw his face right when he knew we were talking about it.
Yeah. So, this is Jim Wilkins. He's in charge of our flatbed and tanker divisions. Raise your hands, any flatbed and tanker folks out there. Got a few. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, Mr. Wilkins.
Those flatbed and tanker guys show up.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't have those PTA issues over there, do they? So, obviously we've come to the end of one challenge. Tell us what's going on.
Well, I've been here at Prime 35 years. I've been in the trucking business all my life. Like I told Robert, I said, it's just time for me to do something else. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that. This has been a great place, a lot of good people. You can tell by meetings like this how detail-oriented Prime is. It makes a difference. These things these guys talk about are important issues, and I hope y'all are paying attention, listening. I've got a few cows. I grew up in that business. My dad had cows, that kind of stuff. So, that's kind of what I'm going to be doing, chasing cows, chasing grandkids, hopefully having a good time. I think I will.
Well, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about that 35-year history. Kind of, how did you choose Prime? How did they hire you? Who did we steal you from? What happened?
I worked for another truck line. Actually, I worked for a couple truck lines prior to Prime. But I came, my family was in this area. This is where I grew up. And I came home on vacation one day and went down to a lake fishing south of here. And on the way back, I drove by Prime and, something just said, call Prime. So I called them and they said, hey, why don't you come in and talk to us? So I came in, it's kind of whirlwind type deal the next couple of days. And Robert and Steve and Bernie and some other people interviewed me, and I felt good about it. And when Robert offered me an opportunity, I was excited about it. Came to work. Like I said, I've been involved in trucking. This is not a lie. My training here was like a half a day. So, to give you an idea, I was just kind of thrown in there. But it worked out really well. Through the years, I've been a fleet manager. I worked in special projects and been involved with flatbed and tanker now for quite a few years. it's been good. A lot of challenges. You know, I can't say enough about how valuable good drivers are. I'm telling you, you make a difference. And, you know, we hear it from our customers all the time. So don't think otherwise. You're super valuable. And I appreciate that. I appreciate what you guys have done. I appreciate those people I've worked with through the years. We got some really good people. You know, Robert has said a few times, I've got a good team. He's got a good team, a really good team. And it's been an honor. And, you know, I'm happy. I'm sad and I'm happy, but it's just time to move on. So that's about it, Dennis.
Well, I want to say congratulations to you on a career well spent. You've tutored me a little bit over the years and given me some unique perspective on things. So I just want to say thank you for helping me individually and personally in my career. And I'm sure, a lot of the folks out there that are now a part of that flatbed and tanker division that you helped grow, over the last however many years are really appreciative to the service you provided. So, when's the last day?
It's getting down to the last minute.
Wait, your car's already started? Well, thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. He talked about the people, and it's always about the people. This is not a logistics business. It's a people business, and people make this thing successful. Robert said a long time ago, this trucking thing's kind of easy. Whoever has the best drivers win. And that's really what it comes down to. And Jim, said it there perfectly. So, as one generation of leadership transitions out, somebody's got to come in and take over this deal. And, Jim has such a huge job and responsibility. They actually kind of have to break it up into two, so I think the appropriate thing to do next is who's taking over this deal, who's kind of got the keys to the truck and going to be responsible for doing this. So I'm going to have hide in the corner Brett Von Wheeler come on up and you're next. So don't hide, don't run away from it. So this is Brett Von Wheeler. He's going to take over some responsibilities from Jim Wilkins and take over our tanker division. So first, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right. So tell us what's going on.
Okay. My name is Brett Von Willer. I've been here at Prime for just under 28 years. I've spent the last 15 years as the operations manager under Jim Wilkins. And I've learned a ton from Jim, and I want to thank him for all he's taught me, not just here at Prime, but in life in general. He will be missed very much. Thank you, Jim. So like I said, I've been the operations manager for 15 years. I've been here 28. I started in the flatbed division. I started out as a fleet manager. Well, actually, I spent like 3 days as a sales coordinator, and they moved me to fleet manager. I did that for 9 years before moving over into flatbed sales, all under Jim Wilkins. And then the opportunity came up, and I took it, and it's been a fun ride. And a chapter. When I started in the tanker division, there was under 200 trucks, probably 175. We have right at 400, and we have an opportunity to really grow this next year. We're going to start a hopper business. We have 25 trailers being delivered next month. That'll be focused in Indianapolis area and Maryland until we can grow it into a network like we do in all of our other divisions.
So talk to us, and of course I say it wrong every time. Manuka, talk to us about that terminal.
We do have a terminal in Manuka. It is on 27 acres. We have safe parking. We have high val parking. We have showers, locker rooms. We have food delivery. We have executive meals that you can prepared meals, shop, 24-hour shop, tractor shop, trailer shop. security. You can get randoms done there. You can get new badges made there. It's a small terminal. We don't have all the amenities that Pittston or Springfield or Salt Lake have, but we do have quite a few.
All right. So anything else you want to tell the folks? You're the new guy. You've been here almost 30 years. We're going to call you the new guy, right?
Yeah, Jim's saying he's been here 35 years. I'm just at 28, so I've got a lot of time ahead of me, and I look forward to it.
All right. So congratulations again, and thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. As we talked about, Jim Wilkins's responsibilities were so big, they had to break it off into two. So that was Brett Von Wheeler from the tanker division. Now we're going to bring up the other new guy, Brian Brown, who's going to take over the flatbed division. So first, Brian, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate it.
Tell us about flatbed.
So yeah, first of all, I just want to say, Jim, we're all sad that you're leaving. We've had a great run together. You've been like family to me. I don't think Robert Lowe could say enough good things about you and what you've done for this company, for our drivers. He said the other night that Jim Wilkins always fought for the driver. And, I'm going to try to take that to heart and carry that tradition on. Jim, you've been a great leader, a great mentor. You're really, really going to be missed. With that being said, I'm honored and humbled to have this opportunity. I've been working with Jim. He hired me going on almost 26 years ago when I was just a young guy. Really excited about it, really excited about this opportunity. But, mainly, when it comes to flatbed, we're going to just continue on. We've got a winning playbook. We've been through a lot over the years. Jim, we've been through Y2K. We've been through the recession, the housing crisis. We've been through COVID. We've been through just a million ups and downs. It seems like every year there's something new. But, we've been through it all. We're not new to this. It's not our first rodeo. We're going to continue, the culture that Robert has laid out here. We're going to be driver-centric. We're going to be customer-centric and continue on. We've got a winning formula. We've got a winning team of people that have been here a long, long time. If you're a 10-year guy in flatbed, you're a new guy. So we've got a lot of experience of people that I'll be working with, and I'm really excited about that. I want to say one more thing to all the folks here that are in the yellow vests. Sometimes they get up here and call them green vests. I think there's a big debate about that, but I think they're yellow. You came here for a reason, just like I did when I was young. And, as you walk around this building, you'll see plaques in every hallway. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million mile drivers that have been here a long, long time. Look at those and think about why. Why did these people stay for 1, 2, 3, 4 million miles at Prime? There's a reason for that. And if you trust the system, if you believe in your business partner, your fleet manager, and you run the freight, run the network, you're going to be successful. There's a lot of people over the years that have tried to outsmart the network, but I'm telling you, trust your network, trust your fleet manager. You're going to do great. You can make life-changing money for you and your family here at Prime. Give it a fair shot. Trust the system. You'll do great. We're really honored and proud to have you guys here, and welcome to Prime. That's all I've got.
All right. I think Leanne turned me off for a second there. So thank you, Brian. It's always great. One of the things I love about this company is, with Jim Wilkins retiring, we didn't go out into the world and try to find, some flatbed guru to replace him. We are homegrown, and it's kind of the same thing with our drivers. We create this clone, this avatar of a PSD. We sit you right next to one of our experienced instructors, and we want that information to feed and bleed off into you so that when you go out on your own and it's your truck, you're the A seat, that you have that same knowledge, same mindset, and same skills as those folks that train you. That doesn't just happen out in the truck. that happens right here inside the door. So when you talk about a new guy in Von Wheeler, 28 years, and a new guy in Brian Brown, he was talking about Y2K. I mean, how many of y'all wasn't alive during Y2K, let alone remember it as a professional here at Prime? So, I jokingly, tongue in cheek, and say new guys, but these guys have been in the trenches, doing the work, communicating with their drivers, communicating with the fleet managers and customers for the better part of 2 decades. So I really feel comfortable with where the direction and the leadership of this company is going. So let's give those guys another round of applause. Of course, we want to say thank you and well wishes to Jim Wilkins, and we want to say the same. Thank you for the service of Brian Brown and Brett Von Wheeler over the last 20 years, each of them, and we look forward to what you'll bring coming up next. So, just a few housekeeping notes. What do we got? So we got Brienne over here. We didn't talk a little bit about the app, not much about the app, but she's feeling a little bit under the weather today. So we're going to say, don't, file over there this week. You can always call in the help desk, 417-521-3148, if you ever have any technology questions. That's a number that'll be answered 24 hours a day. They may put you on a little brief hold if they're, helping. It's usually not John, it's Dave White with his busted computer, but they'll be getting to you as quickly as they possibly can. And of course, all the speakers that spoke here, even the new leadership, will kind of hang out here for just a minute if you have any questions that you didn't want to ask on the microphone. So, and of course, every single Friday, well, most Fridays, you see us in red. You saw Sanderson in red. You saw Kobe in red. John and I are in red. We honor folks that have served our country. And this is a really, unique and special and sometimes tough weekend for folks that are deployed. They're in various parts of the world while they're the family that they hold near and dear are home celebrating, because of them. I won't say without them, but because of them. So, RED, we remember everyone deployed. So if you served in our armed forces, if you would just stand for just a minute and give us an opportunity to properly honor you. We had a few folks stand up. Thank you guys so much for your service. We appreciate you being with us. So what do we got?
All right, you want to go to bring up Mr. Lowe?
I think it's time to close it out. We're coming up at the very end. This is the time that we would normally bring up Steve Wucky. And when Steve Wucky's out, I get to look around the room and put somebody on the spot and bring them up to introduce Robert. And Daryl is over there looking at me like he always chooses me. But Daryl, I'm not going to choose you today. All right, I'm gonna step up into the realm of leadership. I'm going to do it myself. If you want something done right, you do it yourself. Okay. So here's the deal, guys. We appreciate you so much. And when we do these meetings, we try to bring it into a triangle where we try to make sure that we're giving you proper information to keep you safe on the road. Of course, we always want to note that a big part of safety is your health and your wellness. And we always want to have Colby and his team bring you some information. And then, of course, we always want to do the maintenance part, which we didn't have today, but that's okay. We typically want to give you that safety triangle of making sure that in all facets of your business, you're safe. So Steve Wucky would say, you guys are our best customer service representatives. It's not John, it's not Jennifer, even though those folks do a fantastic job. It's you operators that are there on site every day, communicating with our customers, being the face of Prime Incorporated as those individuals right there on those docks, right there handing you or receiving that paperwork from you. You are the face of Prime. So we want to thank you for what you do. For those folks that are out running this holiday weekend, thank you. Be safe. There's a little bit of weather out west, as Aaron and Tyler Patrick noted. We appreciate them for what they do, and you guys be safe. We're going to ask the guy that started this deal, Robert Lowe, to come on up and close us out. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Dennis. Good job. Man, you touched on all my topics. So I'm going to think of something just slightly different, similar. I mean, resounding through, these speakers. I hope you notice that they express thanks. Thanksgiving is appropriate, right? Well, I too am thankful for the job you do. You know, I have a lot of things to be thankful for, but you know, the drivers out there that drive for Prime are precious and valuable to this company, always treated respectfully. You know, that's just what we're about. So I want to join them in thanking you for what you do. Jim Wilkins, man, we're going to miss you. Brian, you got big shoes to step into. Brett, you've got big shoes to step into. Both these guys will be reporting directly to me now. And let me tell you, I'm a tough freaking boss. I just want you to be warned. Yeah, don't be laying any trucks over out there. You keep moving. They're good guys. I'm sure you also noticed the longevity that we have on our management team. That's, you know, Dennis mentioned it. We promote from within. We don't go hire hot shots, bring all their bad ideas from, you know, some slacked out trucking company out there. You know, we bring them up within our system. We give them a lot of time to mature and hone their skills and become really, truly primatized. You know, the culture of this company, how we roll is really important. You know, again, I mentioned appreciation for drivers, being driver-centric, treating drivers with respect. You know, these are basic tenets to the way we roll. So I expect that to continue because Brett and Brian, they'll be working with training future leaders. And again, you know, it's our objective, and I sure will be successful because these folks are a lot smarter than I am, of carrying on that culture and, you know, the company that we hopefully all appreciate it. It's been a good run for Jim. And Jim, we appreciate you so much. You know, he was a fleet manager. My wife had a little separate group of trucks called cargo trucks. Jim dispatched them. You know, she'd had other dispatchers work with her, but nobody liked Jim because he always was straight up with the driver. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He always treated him respectfully, and he always crossed his T's, dotted his I's, had things laid out. I mean, he's the easiest fleet manager in the world to work for because he was thorough and complete, truthful, very accurate. So Jimmy will be missed. Become a really good friend too. He and Debbie and his whole family. We sure enjoyed the journey. So God bless you. God bless you all and be safe out there.